Every single host in the city said that Deshaun Watson was good. Because guess what? At the time when they got him, he was. You act like Deshaun Watson at one point in time was not a top 3 quarterback in this league by all prognosticators. So when you sit up here and try to talk about, oh, well, you like so-and-so, you're disqualified from having a listen, that little Jedi mind tricks works on everybody else. I can say the same thing about Baker Mayfield because everybody liked Baker Mayfield. Then what? Everybody liked Tim Couch, and then what? You see, in this game, it ain't my job to throw the football for nobody. It's my job to tell you what you're doing when you get on the field. And if somebody gives you new information, I think you would be an idiot not to believe it. Why would I say there was nothing that Deshaun Watson was doing that showed that he was not balling? Nothing. Prior to him being on the field. Then after 3 years of work, after 3 years of not performing, after 3 years of being hurt or not on the field, it'd be stupid to look at that body of work and say, well, you know what? It didn't work out. But in terms of trying to act like you doubling down, like somebody didn't know what they was talking about, like somebody was just off key, off put, all that good stuff. No, that never happened. At the end of the day, everybody was talking about Deshaun Watson, and everybody thought it was a good idea until it wasn't a good idea. And the equivalent factors of how that plays with Deshaun Watson versus Shedeur Sanders is a nothing burger. At the end of the day, they are not the same people. They don't got the same personality. They don't got the same upbringing. They don't got the same college career. They have nothing to do with one another, except for the fact that they happen to be black quarterbacks. That's it. That's the only thing I can think of. They don't throw the ball the same. They don't got the same mechanics. They don't even got the same way that they approach the game of football. Deshaun Watson plays out of structure. That's where he finds it. That's where he's comfortable. Shedeur Sanders is a pocket passer all day, likes to get rid of the football. And as you can tell, we got 3 different quarterbacks to talk about it. Also, we're going to debunk this immediately right now. Why are you guys talking about this guy? Why are you talking about a 5th round pick so much? Why are you talking about a 5th round pick so much? See, it's one of them self-fulfilling prophecies. And I said this on the Ultimate Browns, right? Once you get to the 5th round, right, and you take Shedeur Sanders, and Shedeur Sanders is on the field, Shedeur Sanders is part of the Cleveland Browns. The fact that everybody is hung up on this 5th round stuff shows me more about you than about him. Shows me more about the way you look at the game and the way you evaluate things to him. It might be a little personal. Because I'm confused. Everybody, when you get drafted by the Cleveland Browns, you're on the Cleveland Browns, right? And then I talk about it all the time. People say, well, listen, this article that came out, go back and check out my work. Go back to the Ultimate Browns. There was an article Mary Kate came out and said, Kenny Pickett will be getting the most reps. And she repeated again that they passed on Shedeur Sanders like 6 times or whatever. She likes that quote. She's entitled to it. But here's my quote. Let's go ahead and talk about it. My quote is this. If I go and I say, you know what? My goal is I want to find the best cheesecakes in the city. Like, man, that's why you fat, G. Bush, but that's neither here nor there. When I talk about my weight right now. You want to go find the best cheesecakes in the city, right? So you go to one place. You get the cheesecake. You buy it. You go across town. You get another cheesecake. Then you go, go to the city, get another cheesecake. That's 3 cheesecakes if you're counting. And then finally, you go, it's a spot right around the corner by your house. You get the last cheesecake. You get all of the cheesecakes sitting right here, right? You get all of them here. You taste them. You can say, I'm going to taste these to see which one of these cheesecakes I am going to eat first. I'm going to eat this cheesecake based on my taste of these little cheesecakes. I got 4 of them. Let's try them. I try the first one. It's okay. Try the second one. It's a little better. Try the third one. That cheesecake third one. I see what you're doing with that third one. You try the fourth cheesecake. The fourth cheesecake is hitting. You like, yeah, I'm gonna eat this one first. I'm eating this one. This got the, but right here, that boy right there got the most potential. Let me get into that. And you decide to take that one. Now you say, G. Bush, what does this have to do with football? Why are we doing the mental gymnastics on who the Browns acquired first? I understand that they acquired Kenny Pickett first. All right, then they got who? Flacco. Okay, then you drafted Dylan Gabriel in the third and Shedeur in the fifth. It's all been documented. What point does it have in which they brought him? They're all yours. You get no extra credit points for participating in some hierarchy. If I want to find the best cheesecake and I want to go and taste, why would I then just have to use and eat the first cheesecake because I bought it first? And then I have to go eat the second cheesecake because that's the order I bought it in. And then the third cheesecake, listen, I gotta keep it consistent. Let me go ahead and eat the third. And then finally, by the time you get to the fourth cheesecake, you might be full. Why would you not start with the one that you feel tastes the best? Because at the end of the day, they're all your cheesecakes. You get no extra credit point for going in this imaginary pecking order. That is contrived. So I'd be confused why people still be talking about order and where you are. You are here now. Remember what Andrew Berry said, it's not about where you got drafted at. It's about what you do in the building. And I got a couple other things too. Are we going to believe the guys? We going to believe Stefanski? If you guys are going to say you love Stefanski and you're going to, if Andrew Berry and Stefanski like a person, if Andrew Berry and Stefanski pick a person, I'm just going to ride with it. Y'all be lying. You know why? Because every time Stefanski and Berry say something that you don't agree with, they put them in the situation that they're clowns too. Oh, so you're only clowns when I don't agree. Okay, so we'll get to that too. We'll come back and talk about it. But here's what I like to do. 500 people in here, overall 3 formats. Hello to Facebook, hello to UCSS, Barbershop Building in the gang in the building, and we on Twitter right now. Hit that like button for your boys. Share this. Let's get it popping. Now, here's what I do. What I learned that I got to do is I can't just come up here and tell y'all stuff. Because when I just come up here and tell y'all, kind of like I told y'all what it was with Shedeur Sanders, in minicamp, and I said people was bending the truth a little bit. I said, I don't know what they're thinking about it. Before Zach Jackson said it, I said it. And when I said it, it was like, I don't know if we could do that with G. Bush. He's emotional. No, I call it entertaining. He's emotional. I need to hear from somebody else. But then when you hear it, now all of a sudden it's moving. Remember what I told you. Remember when I came out. Let's get to the quarterbacks. Bernie Kosar was on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Drew Bledsoe was on Collin Cowherd. And Kurt Warner was on a podcast. We also saw Keyshawn Johnson. We also saw a former general manager talk about the Browns quarterback situation. And there are starting to be a ground swelling of names, people with credibility, people who've played the position, people who have seen this thing happen before that are predicting, that are saying that the best guy in that room and the guy that they're projecting to take the job will be Shedeur Sanders. That's what the projection is. And a lot of people are like, wow, where was this at during the combine? Wow, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. And the reason I come at this from a situation that I try to be, for me, people say, why do you keep talking about this? Why do you keep talking? You're doing this situation where why can't you just let it go? Here's the reason. In order for people to get a fair opportunity at doing something, I don't know if you guys know it or not, the media can sway a lot of different things. Public opinion and sentiment is a funny thing because you can get 75 stories that come out and say this every single day. 75 stories with same people saying the same stuff with no backing, with no verifiable facts, just opinion, and it looks a certain way. So then when the competition starts, it's looking like, oh, well, we can dismiss this guy over here. No, I'm one of the people that would have took him at number 2. I'm one of the dudes that would have took him at 33. So what the heck you think I'm going to talk about if you got him in round 5 and you still need a quarterback? I don't know why y'all be trying to scare me off these positions. It don't be working. But I got to give you another alternative. Let's go ahead and give you the other alternative right now. Let's drop this video. You know how I do. I got the receipts. Time for the receipts. Let's listen at these quarterbacks that have been franchise quarterbacks. These guys have been faces of franchises. These guys that know about quarterback play, and listen to the way they talk about this dude. Listen to the way that they talk about the Cleveland Browns quarterback room, because that's what we talking quarterbacks today. Let's get to it. Let me get this together. Here we go. Let me take this down. A
lot of traits. He doesn't spin it like you.
Here we go.
I think Shedeur will be fine. I think he was underdrafted, but there aren't a lot of traits. He doesn't spin it like you. He's not as tall as you. He doesn't move like Lamar. He doesn't have a lot you go, wow, but I do think he didn't have a good O-line or a run game, and he played really well against much better teams. And I think there's value in playing well.
Let's start that off right now. You see what he said? Played much better against much better teams. One of the knocks is he didn't play anybody. He didn't play anybody. Okay, he played USC, UCLA. Come on now, he played Utah. He's played multiple teams. The people acting like he ain't played nowhere and ain't putting up no numbers, which is patently false. So let's go ahead and start with that. You see how the narrative be flip-flopping now? The same arguments for is the same arguments against, right? Let's continue to keep pushing. I want to get to what he says, what Drew Bledsoe got to say about this game.
When you watch him, and you watched them a little bit at Colorado, if you'd never heard any other analysts talk about Shedeur Sanders, when you watched him play as a former NFL pick, what did you see that you liked or didn't? Did you think he was a first-round player?
Yeah, I did, Collin. I thought he was first-round talent. I don't know the guy. I still, it's sort of a mystery to me why he fell as far as he did. But when I watch him, he's accurate. He throws with anticipation. There's a quarterback thing that I always look for if I'm watching quarterbacks. The ones that are successful, you can almost see the future, right? You have to be able to anticipate. You have to throw guys open. If you wait to see a guy open, especially as you rise to the NFL level, then you're behind and you're just not going to be successful. And I've watched that happen with some quarterbacks that had really big arm talent, but they had to wait to see somebody open before they throw the ball. Shedeur seems to be able to anticipate well. I liked watching him play in college. Again, he didn't have a ton, of help up front. He was getting hit. It's another thing that I look for. I'm always kind of suspicious when you see some of these, not always, but some of these quarterbacks that come out of the great programs, the Ohio States and Alabamas of the world, because, they're out there. Their guys are better than the other guys. They're not getting hit. They're throwing to open guys. Most guys should be able to do that. But when you watch a guy that's getting hit repeatedly and still popping up and making the plays for you, that's something that is a quality that's hard to learn if you can learn it. And he got his ass knocked off in college and still continued to battle and play well. So, so I believe he's going to have some success, at some point, whether it's this year, next year, whenever.
You see what I'm talking about? You see how he talking about? Now, this is a quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, one of the best, one of the guys that can spin it like no other. Big arm. I watched Drew Bledsoe. Watched him. You see what he said? Throw it in anticipation. So let's start building these characteristics and these traits right now, because nobody else is going to tell you every time you keep looking, because I know y'all searching. See, we don't do narratives over in the barbershop. What we actually do is I'm trying to show you better than I could tell you. Let's start building the characteristics. Drew Bledsoe talks about his ability to throw with anticipation. We ain't heard no beat reporter say nothing about that. He keeps hearing 5th round pick. I want to know what he does well and what he doesn't do well. You heard what Drew Bledsoe say. I enjoy watching him play. And the thing that I don't think you can teach is how to be able to stand in there and take a beating. And he got his tail kicked. He thinks he's going to do well. This is just one person, just one quarterback. But what I want to try to get to is we supposed to be educating the public about what is his skill set and what to expect when you see him on the football field. Not talking about, I don't know why we have to keep talking about it because it's your damn job. What are you doing? Go get a real job if you don't want to talk about the guys that's on the field. I'm confused by that line of thinking. This is what we do for a living. We get stuff, we break it down, we talk about it. That's our jobs. Not to come out here and play tabloid football like we continually do. Who's breaking it down? I'm asking you a question. Who is saying what he's really good at? So what I'll do is I'll tell you, and then I'll tell you what I think, and then I'm going to go ahead and back that up by what the pros are saying. Let's continue to keep it pushing. I told you, I know a lot, 760-60 here. I know somebody is tight. Don't get tight so quick. We got another hour and a half to go.
Yeah, I will tell you, when I watched Jared Goff at Cal, never got hurt, and he got blistered for 3 or 4 years. And I was like, I don't know if he's any good, but that skinny kid never gets hurt. Some guys just bounce back. Eli Manning never got hurt. You know, it's just the way it works.
Yeah, no, the best ability is availability, right? That's what the old saying. And you know, and it's not just the durability piece, but it's the mental toughness of knowing that you're going to get hit the next play, but still standing in there and delivering the ball and doing that over and over again. You know, that's a hard thing to learn. You know, it really is a hard thing to learn. I don't know, you can learn it. And Shedeur seems to have that ability to take his hits and keep battling.
Wow, check out former NFL GM Scott McCloud's take on Shedeur Sanders.
I think he'll be the best quarterback out of this draft. Watch his response every time he came off the field, and how he got with the offensive linemen, how he got with the running backs, how he got with the receivers. And he just ran the show. He has the demeanor to be an NFL football player. And I'm telling you, you wait and see.
You won't believe this. Check out Keyshawn Johnson talking about Shedeur Sanders.
He's the best quarterback in the room. I have a PhD in quarterbacking, and I say it here loud and clear. Nobody knows quarterback play like me. I don't give a damn what nobody say, because I done played with a bunch of them. 14. He's better than Dylan Gabriel. He's better than Kenny Pickett. He's better than an old Joe Flacco that's going to give you 3-4 games but can't give you 17. He's better than that. That's a valid point. And Deshaun Watson is, you know, he's rehabbing, so he's out in the back room somewhere. That's the way I look at it.
You know, my evaluation was the most accurate quarterback I thought in this draft. When he sets his feet, when he's comfortable in the pocket, and he delivers the football, the ball goes where he wants it to go. And, you know, this was a quarterback that was asked to have to win football games for his team. I don't think that can be overstated, is that, you know, you go to a team, it's a really good team, and you become a complementary piece. Yeah, your stats might be a little bit better. Your win-loss record might be a little bit better. But to be asked to win games for your team, to have to go out there and throw the ball every single week for your team to be successful, and that's with, you know, an offensive line that struggled over the last couple of years. I think there was a lot to like about Shedeur Sanders. You know, he wasn't a fifth-round prospect, in my opinion.
I loved going into the draft. So you guys heard me talk on the show about Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders.
Right.
And both of them having a calmness of their feet and their body. And yeah, we talk about arm strength and throwing, but the ability to be calm with guys around us. I even think we use the example of Tyvis this close to me. In the days when I was actually good, I would be able to not be bothered at all that you're coming and you're going to wipe me out. Well, it was amazing to me watching Cam and Shedeur in college, how they already have that confidence and ability, pocket presence to hang this close to a defensive tackle, Tyvis, and not be affected, keep your feet calm, and execute a throw. So I loved watching that coming in. I was super surprised he fell that far like he did.
Let's do the math. Let's do the math. We almost done here. He's another guy. Legend. Bernie Kosar. Cleveland. Knows a little something about quarterbacks. You know what he said? That's the second, third guy that said, I'm surprised. I don't know what the heck was going on. Let's finish this exercise.
So I'm like just any fan. I'm looking forward to seeing him play, truthfully.
Yeah. Shout out to my people in there. All this was courtesy of the individuals on the screen. So if you guys are watching this back home, make sure you check those guys out. There's a lot of people doing Browns content. I want to give them a big up and a shout out for their content. Make sure you support those. Give those guys some likes over there. Make sure you check out their content as well. So we appreciate them as well. Listen, we're getting back to it. And one of the things that we want to talk about here is you're seeing quarterbacks talk about quarterback play. And that's what I like to see. Bernie Kosar talks about his ability to stand in the pocket while there's a lot of stuff in guys like me who play defensive end, defensive lineman. What our job is to do is obstruct the vision, obstruct the rhythm, obstruct the timing of a quarterback. And that, whether that's getting your hands up, whether that's being in the quarterback's face, whether that's feeling pressure around his ankles, around his feet, so he can't step up in the pocket. All of those things are just as good as a pass knockdown, because this game is about millimeters and centimeters, right? If a quarterback is off 6 inches and it's cold outside and he can't get enough on the football, that turns into a tip football, that turns into an incomplete pass, that turns into a third down, and we off the field drinking Kool-Aid. They've already shown the ability to do that, according to Bernie Kosar. When you talk about Kurt Warner, you talk about what Kurt Warner talked about. He said, listen, when he gets his feet set, so think about this. This is a correlation here. Follow along. Bernie starts talking about the foundation. That's the footwork. What you need to do to put yourself in a good position with your footwork and balance to throw the football. Kurt Warner then says, see, this is layers. There's levels to this, fellas. Kurt Warner says, he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks I've seen once he gets his feet set. So, feet, check. When you get your feet set, accuracy, check. And then Drew Bledsoe talks about being in the pocket, knowing that you're going to get hit, and still having the mental toughness and physical toughness to stand down and stare a defender in the eye and know I'm going to get smashed, but I'm still going to deliver. You know what that is? That is a quintessential pocket passer. That's how you win football games in the intermediate game. And go check out Bernie Kosar with this too, because I think he brought up a very valid point. Shedeur Sanders, or whoever wins this job, is not going to win this football job, because let me break this down a little bit too. I may like Shedeur Sanders all you want. I may think he has a bunch of upside. And for all those other people out there, and the Colorado aunties and the grandmas and everywhere in the world, and if you're a Cleveland Browns fan all over the place, you know how I give it up. Or if you don't, I'm going to let you know. I'm married to the facts. Married to what's happened on the field. We could like Shedeur all he wants. He's the one who has to prove it. He's the one who has to throw the football. And guess what? He told you that himself. Prime preaches that. His father preaches that. So I don't know why people are think that he's going to be given anything. He's going to earn it fair and square on the football field, and that's the only way competitors want it. I want to earn your viewership. I don't want you to just come over here and, hey, I'm with this big organization. No, you got to earn it. I got to put that work in. I got to be consistent. That's what we all got to do. And that's what he's telling you he has to do. But Bernie Kosar said this thing, and go back and watch Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I think it was a really good episode. Bernie talks about the person who's going to win this quarterback battle is going to win the intermediate game. It's not going to be the check down Charlies. It's not going to be that. A lot of people think that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are going to pick the guy who protects the football the most. That's a cliche answer. Let's drill down on what that means. Cliche answer, because you need to keep the football. You can't force the ball downfield. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry know one thing. If you cannot make the intermediate pass, if you can't make the 15 to 25 yard intermediate pass, that's where you eat, boys and girls. That is the table in which you eat off. The deep ball, that's dessert. And it don't happen like that. People is taking dessert away from even Patrick Mahomes. Go back and look at the statistics. They got 2 high safeties back there. They are keeping everything in front of them. They're not letting you get one play scores 60, 70 yards. That is dessert. That is the shiny toy in the back. They ain't letting you get to that. The check down Charlie, that's junk food. That's empty calories. That stuff that look good, but after an hour or two, you're crashing. That bag of Cheetos will look good, but in 5 or 10 minutes, you're like, I shouldn't have ate that bag of Cheetos. Check downs is imaginary and they're fickle, and they'll lie to you. You can check down. I'm gonna throw this right here. Let me throw this down to this back. Let me check it down right here. Yep, wide open. And guess what? It's gonna be 3rd and 6. With pass rushers coming after you. You can't win doing that. The wholesome meat and potato meals, the ones that give you good nutrition, the ones that'll make you full, the ones that'll fill you up, the ones that'll satisfy you, is the throws that's from 15 yards to 25 yards. That is where you get the most bang for your buck. Because those are the throws that when you make them, you make people say, I can't be back here in this all these people at the line of scrimmage. I need to get some guys in here. That's where your play action works, because now you can still run the ball. You can still play action. You can still do a lot of different things. Screen game works in that. But the 15 to 25 yard intermediate passing game is the game in which you have to win. The quarterback who throws the ball the best between that yardage is going to be the guy who's going to get the first shot. Not where you was taken, not because your name is Kenny Pickett, not because you got long hair and Steelers drafted you, not because you're Joe Flacco and you done some things before, not because you're Dylan Gabriel and you're in the 3rd round, and not because you're Shedeur Sanders and people may think that you got a lot of fame. The game is going to be won on the field, and that is the little exercise and nuggets that people is not getting. And Kevin Stefanski talked about it. He talked about it. Right? He talked about the situation and why and how things are going to move with that. And as a matter of fact, you know what? I had this all laid out. Let me get this out of here. Let me remove that. I had this all played out. And then I decided to change it up in the middle of the thing. I'm going to change this up. Before we get to the next one, we're going to take some calls. Some chats. I would say calls. I'm still doing the radio thing. 973 people in here, wherever you at. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Stop playing around with me. I want to go to Kevin Stefanski making his rounds a little bit. I was going to go to the Coach Prime topic, but I want to get to Kevin Stefanski, what he said, because it's funny to me how everybody wants to believe Stefanski until he says something, and then you don't agree with it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, Stefanski doesn't know he's a clown. Why? Because he didn't agree with you? Let's keep it pushing. I'm going to get to some of these comments, too. Let me see. We already in the building. Let me get to this. Chantel, how you doing? Oh, boy. G. Bush, Kevin Stefanski said in an interview that the Colorado front office was just in Cleveland last week to meet with their front office about ideas. I don't see, I think that's it. I don't see other front offices meeting with the Cleveland Browns. What's your opinion? I think that, coaches all the time do this. Like, coaches are individuals who like to share information. They like to get information from one another. And what they want to do is they want to have concrete ideas, and they want to cultivate some ideas. And I say concrete that are not concrete, right? So what I mean by that is coaching is about adaptability, adapting to circumstances, adapting to personnel, adapting to the way the NFL plays the game offensively, defensively. So the best thing that you can do is you always want to be continually learning. Right? If you work in a corporate atmosphere, they do continuing education on different things. Sometimes if you're a lawyer or a doctor, you have to do continuing education. If you're a financial advisor, you have to be up on the new laws and regulations with the SEC and all those other things, right? You always want to be learning, always want to be innovative. And the best way to do that is to pick other people's brains, to go see what other people are talking about, right? So I think that's a part what Kevin Stefanski is doing is this exchange of thoughts. I thought he did a really good job of sitting there and talking about it. And we'll get to this after this segment. We'll talk about, I think this is a great question because it segues me right into what I want to get to with Kevin Stefanski talking about what he's doing and his ideas on training camp. So I think coaches are always going to do that. And I always encourage coaches in the summertime to be out and about, going to other teams' training camps, going to other front offices, and exchanging ideas about how it is that they come up with their game plan, making it their own. I believe in taking a lot of stuff from different people and then putting your twist on it, right? Let's see. XP Gaming, I thank you so much for the super chat. By the way, Chantel, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Jeremy Long, G. Bush, Shedeur starts Flacco, then Gabriel, Pickett to the Saints. Shedeur has a leg up on the system. He's learning from Flacco to get that fake down. I thank you for bringing this up, Jeremy. You know what I like so much about what Shedeur said? And this isn't all about, just talking about Shedeur Sanders. I like the dynamic in the quarterback room. My dad said this. He told me this at one point in time. He said, don't be so quick to dismiss some information or some game that somebody can drop to you. Don't be missing the game. And I said, what do you mean by that? You know what I'm saying? He told me this early on. He said, even your enemy, even a person you don't agree with, can give you a couple of nuggets of information that may change your life or save your life. I said, hold on, man, that's kind of deep. Even my enemy, he said, hey, you listen, be always willing to listen and keep an open mind from anybody. Anybody, you can take what a child says and flip that and be like, wow, that was, even sometimes out of mouth of children, you can get some wisdom. And so what I like what Kevin Stefanski said is he said, I love our quarterback room. He even threw Deshaun Watson in here. Contrary to popular belief, Deshaun Watson is one of the best guys on the whiteboard in the game. Now, the problem is sometimes your knowledge from the whiteboard doesn't transfer over from the mental to the physical execution of something. It doesn't mean that you don't understand the game, right? That's the difference. And when Kevin Stefanski was making his tour run, he said, look, I love our quarterback room. I love it. You know why? Because I'm seeing Joe Flacco in there. I'm seeing Shedeur Sanders in there. I'm seeing Dillon Gabriel in there. The two young pups is in the back just sitting there soaking up the game. They quiet. They ain't saying nothing. They in here. Deshaun Watson is pointing stuff out. You talk about Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett. You be a dummy not to sit back there and soak up no game from guys that been here before. You crazy. That's the way life works. Come on, man. If you're doing manual labor, if you were working on an assembly line, if you was working in a factory, you always know it's that old dude that been in the factory for 40 years. His name is Joe. Refused to retire because he ain't got nothing else to do. He been there 40 years. He done seen every piece of equipment come in there. He know when to line down, how to get it back up. He know how to get a shortcut and sanding this down and moving this. These guys know it. Joe is he got a quick temper because he don't like new people, because new people mess stuff up. You know how it is. G come in, where's my tools? Who moved my set? Who moved? Listen, guys, when I come in here, don't be having this crap around, man. I want my setup the way it was set up. It was that for a reason. He come off a little extra, but Joe got game. He know everything in there. If he had better people skills, he might be your boss. He don't want to deal with all that bureaucracy. He just want to run the line. You'd be crazy not to get some of that game. And that's exactly what Shedeur, Dillon Gabriel, and everybody doing. Getting some of that game. Hey, the Ashanti mom, how you doing? I appreciate you so much for the super chat. Former NFL QBs are the experts, not Mary Kay. They know what needs to be successful as an NFL quarterback is standing on what they know. #respect. My job is this. Mary Kay's job is to report and write as what she sees. That's the beautiful thing about the free press. That's what makes America great, right? The freedom of the press. People got the freedom to write and see as they see so fit, right? But you know what it is over here. the freedom of the press works this way too. It's called the internet. And on the internet, we reign supreme in the barbershop. If you know, you know. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. Yeah, look, that's just what I do. When you see that panda and that barber pole, we cooking. It ain't for everybody. I ain't going out recruiting a bunch of people. I ain't going out here tapping people on the shoulder with flyers. Hey, watch my show. You want to watch my show? Barbershop ain't for everybody. This is speak easy. You might have to have a code word to get in here. Got to knock on the door. What's the code word before you get in the club? Come on now. Not sure if you've seen what's happening in the NFL. Allowing Bucky to cover 12 Shiloh and Cam is going to be another stimulus for your channel. Will UCSS have representation at Browns camp when the media is allowed? Listen, I'm fighting hard for it. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm fighting hard for it. The problem is we have a set schedule. We go from 11 to 1. And generally speaking, the Cleveland Browns are practicing during that timetable. So, you know, I think it's kind of difficult. And I think from the higher ups thought process, you know, we got a lot of people, we almost over 60,000 subscribers that tune in daily to the UCSS. Thank you guys for making that a big part of your afternoons. And people have expected and know to come that rain, sleet, rain, shine, dark, whatever, we're going to be there at 11 to 1. So if we go moving the schedule, you know, suits ain't going, they don't like that. They're like, come on, we've already built this market. We're not going to do that with. But there are some things that we're trying to do that really can get it going. Like for me, there are certain things on the weekend, right? I'm a person who believes in, I don't even say I believe in it. Like I got 17 shows, right? But I still do this show. I still work on the weekends. I'm still moving. I worked the weekends for 15, 20 years. That's when all the stuff happened. How I not going to work on the weekend, that's when stuff popping off. So we might have an opportunity to do something on a Saturday, get out there and see it. But I do like I did see that the NFL, it might let them come in, and I believe the well-off media come in and shoot Shedeur and Shiloh, as they should. As they should. It's still press. I mean, they shoot everything in Colorado. It's not as if these guys don't know. These guys have been doing this for a long time. This is a media company. Again, we talked about the freedom of the press, right? It's a great thing about this country. Freedom of press. We like that. We want to see them out there. Y'all been great out here. Let's see. The Fact 12 was asked to win games with his arm. What gives him the edge? I appreciate that, Double D. I like them shoes over there as well, too. I like them. P. Rothstein, my man. He been one of the day one guys, man. One of them, that's the name back in the day. I have ESPN Plus, and I've seen every college game that he's played in from Jackson State to Colorado. He is better than any quarterback we've had, and it's not close. Hopefully he gets a fair shot. Here's what this is, P. Rothstein. This ain't about me trying to give nobody position. It's trying to give somebody an opportunity and a fair shot. And a lot of times is people don't understand this. In our world, in our society, the way media works is, the way the algorithm is, they show you what you look for. If you start off, I always talk about it, and people know this about your YouTube channel. Go searching for something 2 or 3 minutes on something like wood carpentry, right? Say you want to learn, or backyards. I get an idea for my backyard. As soon as you're done watching that video, you hit that like button, your algorithm switched. Now, every other show that they're going to suggest to you is about gardening or your backyard. Because they're going to say, oh, well, hold on now. G. Bush, you telling me you like gardening now? Well, let me show you about this. I got a whole bunch of gardening videos for you, dog. Here you go. Boom, 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 boom. And you're like, hold on, whoa. I just wanted one video. That's the way the algorithm works. Now you get online and you Google something. Guess what? The ads pop up. Lowe's, Home Depot. You're like, dang, We got a Memorial Day sale coming up now. Get all of your get your perennial flowers right now. Half off. You're like, whoa. I was just trying to learn 2 things about my backyard. I don't want all that. So that's the way that algorithm is set up. So if you searching for crazy stuff, or if you searching and you get in this echo chamber, all you're going to have fed to you is things that are opposite of the other, right? That's what you get. So guess what? I'm just trying to give you a counter to these things. I'm just trying to give you the full picture. Yes, you can have that over there, but guess what? There are certain things. There's a lot of people that if I wouldn't have played that, they would have never came up on their screen. They would have never knew that Kurt Warner or Bernie Kosar or any general manager or Keyshawn Johnson or Drew Bledsoe said anything about, and you just thinking that the only thing that matters is what the beat reporter told you, because that's the atmosphere that you're in. So I'm just trying to give people a fair shake. Yoshi Dolce. I like that. I think it's Yoshi Dolce, 2006. I watch tape. I love Sanders. You watch tape. Love Sanders. Legends watch tape. Love him. Even Alexander the Great of Macedonia had skeptics until he proved he was as great as his father. Let me tell you this, too. And here's the thing about Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great found a way that when he conquered an army and those people came into the camp, he indoctrinated all kind of different soldiers. And the great thing about Alexander the Great, he led by example. Alexander the Great was at the front of the line. He wasn't at the back. He was at the front of the line encouraging people and rallying troops. When they wanted to go home, he said, whoa. What you mean we want to go home? We're pushing forward. You know what the game plan is, but he did it by example. Coach Stefanski says, Shedeur does it by example as well. We'll come back up with that. We'll give you that story as well. Great quote. I like history involved. Alexander the Great quote. Hey, listen. Hey, see, I told you, hon. Hey, barbershop is special. I was just talking to my wife. She over here. She be moderating. I be telling her, man. That's why I like messing around with people in the barbershop, because they well read, well learned. I like that. We almost fried. Big Black, we appreciate you, man. I don't think the coaches want Sanders. Sanders was the owner's choice. That's the great thing about having owners, right? And I don't understand why people get this twisted all the time. What billionaire owner of a business don't have his way? I'd be confused about this. Now, half the people that be saying the owner be meddling be sounding crazy. What you think they're going to do? What billionaire do you know is passive and lets people do what they want to and have no say? I can't think of that one. Of course he's going to have a say. Of course. He's a billionaire. There's one of 32 of them. Even if you're a billionaire, you just can't get a team. They got to vote on it. Let that sink in. They're like, oh, no, you can't get in the good old boys club like that. Who you know? I don't care if you got rich tomorrow. Who you know, and we got to vote on whether you in there or not. It's an elite group and organization of people that's very at the tippy top 1%. What does the tippy top 1% do in this country? Anything they want to. Why you think they're not going to say, listen, Shedeur Sanders is there. Mel Kiper said he was the best quarterback. All these other quarterbacks said he was good. Heck, he's in the 5th round. I'm taking him. He got on that phone. Heck, I always laugh and joke. I always say that D. Haslam woke up and said, listen, Jimmy, it stops now. It stops. The slide is over. Make the picks and get it done. Jimmy got on that phone. And Andrew, hey, let's make it happen. Are you sure about that? I thought we were taking Dylan in the 3rd round. I thought we were doing that. Are you sure? Andrew, I said, get it done. And that's how it went down. The fact that the Browns brought in extra players to give equal reps at rookie minicamp says a lot. Coach said they change it up in regular camp, too. They know Shedeur isn't a 5th-round talent. The Ashanti mom, you are correct. It's written all – listen, Hey, shout out to the Root Boys, Cleveland's own. You remember that song in the 80s? It's written all over your face. You don't have to say a word. Remember that? It's written all over the face, man. Written all. They brought people in to compete to get them reps today, right now. Right now. And as they should. I like what Stefanski is doing. We're going to get to that as well. You hit it on the head with your response. History. I appreciate you.